to ensure that Botswana achieves its aspirations of being a high-income country by 2036. Don't abandon us along the way. We learned a bitter lesson from our HIV/AIDS pandemic. You stick to one partner. Multiple concurrent partnerships can be lethal. I wish you all very fruitful discussions as you join all the different sessions lined up in the agenda of this magnificent global expo. I thank you most profusely for your kind attention. Apulain.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, how fortunate you are. Your first lesson in our beautiful language, courtesy of the President himself. Just for a recap, class, that word that you need to take with you, if there's no space for other words, is dumelang. It's also one of my favorite words because it literally means let us be in agreement. But it is the word that my culture has chosen for greeting. If you want to go further, see me at the cocktail where we can have conversations off the microphone for further words. However, I'll give you one for free right now, a second word you can fit into your luggage. My really favorite word in Setswana, tautona. That word, literally translated to English, means great lion. Tautona. And it is the word that our culture has selected for the name or for the word president. So there you go, a round of applause if you appreciated those two lessons. Your Excellency, you mentioned the partnerships that have begun to both bear fruit. Allow me to steal this moment at the podium to share with you one of the pin drop results of these incredible partnerships between our country and the European Union. You know me as probably your favorite MC for high-level events and have taken me across the world in that position. Thank you so much. However, I stand before you, my father, my elder, my leader, Tautona, to inform you that I have happily accepted an assignment with the European Union to serve as communications and visibility specialist for the Economic Partnership Agreements Implementation Support Program. Motsadi, invite me to the office to tell you more. What an honor now to welcome a queen, one of the leaders of nations I spoke of, as she takes the podium to deliver this morning's vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, she returns back home, the ambassador of Botswana in Belgium and to the European Union. Please join me in acknowledging and receiving at the podium Her Excellency Masekoa Masire Mwamba.
Can I just take this moment to acknowledge all our visitors from Europe? And can I ask you, please, wherever you are, to just stand in acknowledgement of our representation from Brussels, from Germany, from Poland, from Denmark, and so on and so forth. I thank you very much, and I offer you a very special dumelang on this side of the world. Your Excellency, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Keabetswe Masisi, the President of the Republic of Botswana, Honorable Minister Musik Kafela, Minister of Trade and Industry, Her Excellency Petra Pereira, European Union Ambassador to Botswana and SADC, Her Excellency Ms. Miriam Farron, Deputy Director General, International Partnerships, European Union, the BITC, Botswana Investment Trade Center, board chairman and board members present, and in particular, the CEO, Mr. Kilitsusitse Ulibile, and your team from BITC. Honorable ministers here present, amongst which I should recognize my line minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Affairs, private sector representatives of various local businesses, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed with profound gratitude and immense pleasure that I stand before you to express our appreciation to you all, and in so doing, to acknowledge the collective efforts that an invaluable contribution to the successful convening of this, the very first EU-Botswana Business Forum. Create, connect, and collaborate. A special appreciation goes to you, Excellency Mokgweetsi Masisi, for your visionary leadership and commitment to prioritize and intensify investment promotion in the various parts of the world as a way to create jobs and improve prosperity for Botswana. This partnership between Botswana and the EU is a robust and long-standing one. The Minister, the DG, and His Excellency the President have given us details of where it started and highlighted both the development and the business relationships that we have had as a partnership. As it stands right now, the EU is one of our major trading partners and a source of foreign direct investment. And in recognition of this international partnership, we highly recognize and acknowledge the presence of the Assistant Director General for being right here in Gaborone, in great companies, dare I say, ladies and gentlemen. And her presence here surely not only demonstrates the commitment by the EU, but serves as a catalyst to promote Botswana as an investment destination of choice. Naki ikopela diatla ha le sa nkopele. I'm home. Ke tshwanetse gore ke opele diatla ke re I'm home. Thank you. The EBBF, ladies and gentlemen, has been a labor of love for myself, the embassy team in Brussels, and for all of us who have been involved with the project. We reflect on the journey that started quite some time ago and remember fondly our ambassador, Sam Utlule, who together with other colleagues worked hard to ensure that we get on the radar of Botswana and EU doing this investment forum. Thank you. We are now at a position where we are saying, looking at how everybody has pulled together, how everybody has plugged in and worked around the clock to mobilize and resource this event, that we see this as a success. And Mr. President, I assure you, it has taken a village to get to this point. We have worked with my colleague ambassadors in France, in Switzerland, in Sweden, and our very own ambassadors based here in Botswana, the ambassador of Germany, the ambassador of France, and of course, the ambassador of the EU. And collectively, we have been able to reach beyond our countries of accreditation to promote, to position, and to facilitate for our guests to be here today. I am convinced that I am convinced that the Business Forum will create the platform that you referenced, HE, and also provide an opportunity for business and for business engagement, and sometimes importantly, to learn from each other. Sometimes what we gain in these fora is not just the business opportunity, but is looking at how we can expose what we do and how we can learn from those that cooperate with ourselves. To our guests who are here today, before we usher you to the next stage of the program, which His Excellency mentioned, which is the Global Expo, I just wanted to reassure you that Botswana also offers some of the most pristine, natural, and abundant wildlife resource. If you have time, make sure that you do fit that into your schedule. And we will also invite you to appreciate our magnificent infrastructure program, which is a project such as the Kazungula Bridge highlighted on your program. And the significance is not just that it's on your program, but the significance is that it links us. As the minister was saying earlier this morning, the assistant minister was saying earlier this morning on radio, as a land-linked country, this is the bridge that links us to SADC countries beyond and allows us to take advantage of the AFCTA Free Trade Agreement, the Continental Free Trade Agreement, His Excellency reference. To us, to the Botswana in the room, to Botswana business represented here, I say to you, please, the time is now. Think smart, think global, and think big. We have the right partners in the room. Explore and project the very real and concrete opportunity that your specific business represents. Follow up and follow through are absolutely crucial. And speaking not just on behalf of my own embassy, but also on behalf of the other embassies that are out there, representations of the Botswana, we urge you, inform and engage us. We are there to assist, we are there to handhold, and we are there to celebrate with you when we get to the when we get to the end. Re tla be re lo emetse, re lebogile thata, go monate thata gore be re le mo gae le ka moso. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and welcome back home, Your Excellency Masakhoa Masire Mwamba. By the way, FYI, she and I are actually Twitter buddies. That is to say we both follow each other, right? So if you'd like to join me and have something in common with me, check her out on Twitter, or X as it's known nowadays, and that is at Masakhoa M. So that is MMASEKGOAM. Oh, and if you'd like to follow me, my handle is Miss Kebakile. Yes, gentlemen, Miss Kebakile. Well, if you are watching us virtually, hello, you've missed out. I hope you haven't missed the beginning of the official opening ceremony, but thanks to technology, you and I can check it out a little bit later on. You have missed out if you've just joined us on some high-level addresses, and we are very shortly breaking into the tour for the Global Expo Botswana 2023. You know that this week, of course, unleashes Global Expo season, where the world congregates right here in the capital city to explore our products and services and to seek out investment opportunities and positive business collisions. Well, my name is Oratile Giselle Kebakile. I've had such a good time as the MC for this morning. And of course, you should keep tuned in to the platform that you're watching so that you can follow every heartbeat of both the EU Botswana Business Forum as well as Global Expo Botswana. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very, very shortly, we will be breaking from this room for two purposes. The majority of us will be breaking into our tea break. Please join me at the Pavilion Restaurant. There's some awesome ushers on your exit points who will guide you accordingly. Just find out where tea break is and they'll be sure to deliver you to the promised land. Otherwise, the presidential delegation that we received this morning will then be proceeding into the Global Expo Village for the presidential tour. So if you're one of the exhibitors, this is a friendly heads up. Do stand by, check that lipstick, get ready for the cameras, because an army of the media as well as leaders of nations are making their way to you. Well, kgaitsedi ya ka o tshameka mmino, o ka nna wa di tobetsa motsotsonyana hotlhe. Jaaka re setse re ipankanya go laela bagolo. All protocol officers that are assisting our presidential entourage with the tour, kindly check into mode.
Can you fix these?
That over there is
Thanks. How are you?
Sir, we manufacture Thai.
You manufacture this?
Yes, this is a cementitious product that we protect the car.
Where are you manufacturing it?
We started Yes, so we manufacture it in our
How are you? Leather,
Very excited. How are you?
how are you?
Welcome to Good Products.
Amazon.
Amazon as well, with excellence. All our little producers here. Yes. Also service company.
Minister.
Thank you. Women farmers. This was the women farmers and go. Right? So into the women.
So what we did, when we supplied the
We are now done, sir.
We're done. Yeah. Hello. So
Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road, rail networks, coupled with bespoke infrastructural developments, make it easy for you to open shop, network, and trade in Botswana. These serve our economy and benefit our citizens positively, fueling economic growth and social progress. It is through reliable, stable governance and steadfast vision that we transform all our aspirations into tangible achievements. In a quest to make our country conducive for meetings, conferencing, and multi-sectoral tourism hub, we are more than ready to welcome the world to our shores. We invite you to be part of this remarkable African story, to witness the realization of the promises made and dreams fulfilled. Together, let us forge ahead, shaping a brighter future that is grounded in peace and harmony. This is Botswana, our pride, your destination. Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, We are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we strive to maintain for future generations. Come and meet the right business partners and investors to diversify and expand. Set up your investment in Botswana and leverage on Botswana's proximity to the wider Southern African market. Our interconnected road.
I'd like to start by acknowledging the Director of Ceremonies, Ms. Giselle Kebakile, for the fantastic work that she started off this morning, and also acknowledge Honorable Assistant Minister B.T. Manake, who's the Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry. Also acknowledge any cabinet ministers here present, as well as members of Parliament, as well as the EU delegation. And of course, may I say all protocol is observed, and acknowledge all distinguished delegates, guests, exhibitors, and ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the energy. My name is Yandi Lelugu, and I will be the moderator for this particular session. I hope I'm visible. I usually need an extra step to be able to be seen when I'm on stage. I am a corporate communications facilitator for investment and trade events. Not only that, but I also influence the whole of Botswana every single morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on Radio Botswana, talking all things growth in Botswana. But also, I work as a program manager for the largest technology innovation hub on the continent called Co-Creation Hub. And one of the key projects under my portfolio is a program called Enriching Africa, funded by the European Union, which focuses on connecting European innovation ecosystems and African innovation ecosystems. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to put a spotlight in Botswana for this session. Once again, a warm welcome to Botswana. If this is the first time you come to Botswana, we are known to be the best producer, or the biggest producer of diamonds in the world by value. And I argue that human capital in Botswana. I call Botswana the land of opportunities and miracles. Botswana over the last 10 plus years has invested in its human capital. And in Botswana, for as long as you work hard, you get access to an education right from primary school to university and even to the best universities in the world. And why is that important? It is, of course, an important conversation because if you think about trading in Botswana, establishing your business in Botswana as a gateway to the rest of the continent, you also want to think about the talent and the quality of talent we have in the country. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome on the stage our keynote speaker, who's going to open the session for us, Honorable B.T. Manake, Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry, for the welcome remarks. Honorable, you may grace the stage.
The Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry, Mr. Musa Khafela, Her Excellency Ms. Petra Pereira, who is the European Union Ambassador to Botswana, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ms. Ellen Richard Madisa, Coordinator in the Office of the President, Business and Investment, Ms. Malebogo Marakaladi, Chief Executive Officer of Botswana Investment Trade Center, Mr. Kilutusitse Ulibile, Chief Executive Officer of Business Botswana, Mr. Norman Molele, Chief Executive Officer of Flowtech, Mr. Nick, Group Managing Director, Medical Services, Dr. Khosimoto, Director, AAS Energy, Mr. Mans, captains of industry and private sector representatives, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is both our honor and privilege for me to address you this morning on the Doing Business in Botswana session, which is organized as part of the EU Botswana Business Forum program. As highlighted during the welcome and official opening session of the EBBF, the theme of this forum is EU Botswana, connecting goods, people, and services for a sustainable future. This theme aligns seamlessly with the ideals and aspirations of the EU SADC Economic Partnership Agreement, commonly known as EPA, which aims to facilitate investment and trade between the two regions while fostering development across Southern Africa. Moreover, this theme is consistent with the Botswana's commitment to forging partnerships that promote sustainable development and regional integration among all other trade and economic partners. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, I would like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the Botswana Investment and Trade Center for organizing this session. This session serves as a platform for the Botswana private sector to engage with their European counterparts, fostering potential investment and trade partnerships. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Her Excellency Ms. Pereira, the European Union Ambassador to Botswana, and her team for providing Botswana with the opportunity to co-host the inaugural EU-Botswana Business Forum in our home soil. By holding this forum alongside our renowned and premier business-to-business exposition, the Global Expo Botswana, local companies and entities now have a valuable opportunity to directly engage with European counterparts. I have a strong belief that this forum will play a pivotal role in advancing us towards the full realization of the objectives outlined in the SADC-EU Partnership Agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, during this Doing Business in Botswana plenary session, we are leveraging on ongoing EBBF platform. Its primary aim is to foster trade and investment relations between Europe and Botswana. The diverse investment opportunities available in Botswana to the delegates attending this forum. This also positions our country as an ideal investment destination within the region and the continent. Botswana holds a strategic partnership with the EU, and we view the EU as a vital ally, given our mutual dedication to democratic principles and growth of trade and relations. We deeply appreciate the collaborative partnerships we have cultivated with the EU on a range of developmental matters encompassing health, energy, security, wildlife conservation, job creation and investment climate, and the advancement of human rights, as well as inclusion for marginalized and unrepresented groups. While the relationship between the EU and the contemporary Botswana has spanned over 4 decades, I need not to emphasize that the Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry highlighted this morning. The trade between the EU and Botswana remains relatively low and most significantly heavily undiversified, with a heavy focus on diamonds and beef. However, what is undeniably encouraging is that Europe continues to be a pivotal investment partner for Botswana, and this partnership is expected to endure in the foreseeable future. Therefore, this session, along with the broader EBBF, offers us a valuable opportunity to enhance and reinforce trade relations between Botswana and the EU. This morning, you'll have an opportunity to explore a plethora of investment opportunities available in Botswana, which I believe you are eager to learn more about. Please do not be discouraged by the smaller population Botswana has to offer. We count ourselves as part of the regional and global market, which is the SACU, SADC, and now the CFTA. Besides, government continues to put ease of doing business as one of its priorities. Furthermore, you will hear from companies that we have already established operations in Botswana, providing testimonials about their investment in our country. I hope that these discussions will ignite your interest in considering Botswana as part of your Africa expansion strategy. In doing so, you'll be playing a significant role in bolstering Africa's contribution to global value chains. I also urge you to engage in negotiations with the representatives of the Botswana private sector who are participating in the EU Business Forum and the Global Expo Botswana. They have demonstrated their ability to form robust partnerships with the international business community. It is through such strategic alliances that we can cultivate new businesses, avenues, and mutually beneficial value chains. Ladies and gentlemen, like any other African nation, Botswana eagerly anticipates the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Our aspiration is to establish connections between Botswana and the rest of the continent and the world through sustainable value chains, with a particular focus on key sectors such as life sciences, health and pharmaceuticals, financial business services, manufacturing, including automobile, e-mobility, and energy, ICT and innovation, as well as mineral beneficiation, just to mention a few. We envision Botswana as a gateway to Africa, particularly for EU companies, thanks to our robust governance structures. These structures facilitate successful business operations and expansion of successful business operations and expansion of companies across Africa, with Botswana serving as a stable foundation. By establishing your business in Botswana, you will gain access to market comprising nearly 1.27 billion people and a combined gross domestic product, GDP, exceeding over 2.5 trillion US dollars across all the 55 AFCFTA member states. Botswana ranks as one of the best governed, most transparent, peaceful, and least corrupt countries in Africa. This reputation renders it an appealing destination for investors seeking access to a market over 277 million people within the SADC region. Our dedication to economic transformation remains steadfast, and we are constantly in pursuit of new development partners. Our ultimate objective is to evolve Botswana into a knowledge-based economy and achieve high economic status by the year 2036. My remarks will be incomplete if I do not mention that Botswana provides a unique visitor experience, hence captivating landscapes, abundant wildlife, and most importantly, a peaceful and safe environment. Our conservation efforts are unparalleled, and we have successfully implemented community-based natural resource management strategies that promote harmony between our people and the wildlife. I encourage you to consider extending your stay in Botswana, not only for the in-depth industry exploration, but also to discover our pristine tourism destinations, and most importantly, to immerse yourself in our culture and savor in our cuisine. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, if they are there, Minister, I thank you for your gracious attention and wish you a successful 2023 EBBF and Global Expo Botswana. Pula!
Another round of applause for the Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Beauty Manake. And if you've missed anything from what you've heard, it is the idea that although we are around 2.3 million, think about Botswana as a test bed, as a launch pad, and as a gateway to the African continent. And you can start regionally to a market of about 277 million in the SADC region. And of course, I'd like to reference you to the Vision 2036 document. You can simply Google to find out a little bit more about how we intend to get to a high income status by 2036. We are serious about digitalization and achieving a knowledge-based digital economy we're currently, as a country, about to launch the completion of the first phase of launching a project called Smart Bots Village Connectivity, connecting 500 villages in Botswana to high-speed connectivity. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Kiletsusitse Ulibile. He is the CEO of BITC to come and give us a presentation on doing business in Botswana. Sir, you may grace the stage. Thank you.
Okay. A very good morning to our distinguished delegates. Allow me to start by recognizing the honorable ministers in attendance and say all protocol is observed. I think for those that attended the welcome cocktail yesterday, my job was done by my consulting colleague from Mauritius, who presented in detail some of the macroeconomic fundamentals of Botswana and what it takes to do business here. But since we were all not there, some of us were not there, it's still important that we come up and emphasize. Before I get into the slides again, it was also emphasized that this should be a deal-making forum instead of a talk show, and I think that we have to re-emphasize. So when you see the setup around the venue everywhere, we have provided more than enough sitting areas where you can hold each other by the jacket and get to do business. And get to discuss business and cut those deals. Thank you very much. So I will be presenting just at a high level, a few slides on facts and figures about Botswana. I will stay high level and go very fast because we have companies that will be coming up to give testimonials, and from them, you will really understand and attest how things get to work in Botswana. I won't dwell on the outline, but here we were just presenting at a glance, just for re-emphasis, some of the high-level figures about Botswana. We are not too blessed in population, 2.3 million people, but you will see later as I proceed with my slides why you should still consider Botswana as your domicile, particularly for operations targeting the rest of sub-Saharan Africa. Look at our GDP per capita as at 2022, $6,581, placing us as an upper middle income country. Comes with advantages and disadvantages, but we have set a very bold target to grow to high income status by the year 2036. Look at our inflation as well, congratulating our central bank for the good management of inflation through their interventions. You see that their objective range is 3 to 6%, but as at August, after a few months of the figures actually shooting up the objective range, we have seen a stabilization as low as that 1.2%. And then that translates into a very favorable monetary policy rate. Our central bank gets to meet on a regular basis to observe the various macroeconomic fundamentals and the direction of their movement, and they use this monetary policy rate to basically influence and stabilize. So it's at 2.65%, which lands our prime lending rate as a country at 6.76%, quite efficient when you compare to other regional comparators. Here we wanted to share the sector contribution to GDP. You will see that we are still predominantly held by mining and quarrying, particularly diamonds at 20%. But you will also see, as somebody said earlier, that there is a significant contribution by the government sector. So this is still an economy that, to a large extent, still relies on government and government purchasing power. The challenge that we are really driving at the moment is to try and diversify the economy and have more emerging sectors contributing more meaningfully to this economy. Now here we were trying to share with our visitors some of the source markets for our principal commodities. You will see that South Africa remains our lead trading partner, followed by the European country of Belgium. But you will see that Belgium, because of the massive exchange in diamonds, we have diamonds flowing into Belgium from Botswana and from Belgium into Botswana, as you will see later. But I think you will see that our import bill at the center there was around 8.1 billion in US dollar terms in the year 2022. The challenge again here is to make sure that we can localize some of this production, substitute the imports, and make sure that we can be a well-diversified economy. And our import bill is quite recorded. The data is available. You can always see what we are importing in large numbers, demonstrating the local demand that you can then set up locally to address. Some of our destination markets, again, showing that we are still a predominantly diamond-led economy. You will see that we are exporting predominantly to the United Arab Emirates, Belgium, and India. And these trade figures are predominantly, again, led by diamonds. You can see on the pie chart that 87% of our exports in 2022 constituted diamonds. So we really have a lot of work to do to diversify the economy, especially that as we are identifying and attracting new sectors to anchor in Botswana, we are also realizing new diamond operations anchoring. So their percentage will always hold strong, but we really have to work to improve contribution of the other sectors. Now, these figures were shared earlier on. Botswana's export statistics to the EU. You will see again that the figures are to a large extent across various product groupings quite negligible. You will see again that while we talk of figures in the billions, it's diamonds and led by Belgium. We have very negligible figures in beef, where the European Union has for the longest time opened a very lucrative quota for us, but we need to work hard, restock, and be able to supply that market. So you can see that our exports to the EU are quite concentrated and challenged. Import statistics from the EU, again, it's diamonds. Why? Because we are a diamond trading center, and there are lots of companies that have joint operations and business linkages between Botswana and particularly Belgium. So you will see that a lot of diamonds actually flow in the value chain now coming into Botswana. So there again, it's very good that we are meeting in this manner and form today, because we have a challenge to improve these numbers and make sure that the EU can push more to enable this economy, either by trading or by coming to invest to substitute some of the imports that we are having. This chart was basically to say, while all the trade figures are challenged, we are quite alive to product lines that have significant opportunity for Botswana in Europe. So as we promote, we know what we can basically set up here in Botswana to be able to uplift into Europe. So we use market intelligence tools that you can approach us for, and we will be able to point you in the right direction in terms of areas where you can potentially invest. because the market is ready and waiting for you in Europe. This one may not be visible, but it was on the reverse order to say now what are Europe's products with high potential to Botswana. And you can then see again there that there is a lot that Europe can be able to push into Botswana, despite our low population and therefore maybe a corresponding low market, small market. We have a very strong purchasing power, and therefore you will find some of the products that are produced in Europe can initially cultivate a market in Botswana, and once the market is there, we will lure you to come and set up, because now you would have a strong demand to serve. This was to show you that Botswana stands ready to trade with every corner of the world. Our government has been proactive in entering bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, which are active and in force. Through SADC, we can give you access to the more than 293 million consumers across the SADC region. Through SACU, the Southern African Customs Union, we have signed a lot of sub-agreements with regional groupings around the world. SACU has an agreement with the Mercosur countries, which is South America. SACU has an agreement with the UK after Brexit. There is also an EAC SADC COMESA agreement. There is also what we call the SACU EFTA with the European Free Trade Area countries. We are beneficiaries under AGOA, which gives us unlimited product lines to export into the US. And then the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement that is much talked about is a new one to come into play, and Botswana has completed all the formalities to be able to be a full member of the Continental Trading Bloc. So effectively this says if you come and produce whatever product in Botswana, it will give you preferential access to almost all markets that we can talk about around the world. So while we are a small population, come and produce in Botswana, enjoy our stability, to be able to sell to all the open markets that we have signed with. Here, I think these points we can't belabor. It's just to emphasize Botswana and how we stand out from the rest as a country in terms of a place of doing business. We are known for prudent and sound macroeconomic management of our economy. You will know, I think, recently that we were receiving the Bank of Botswana figures in terms of national debt. We always peak when other countries are quite challenged on their sovereign debt. But in Botswana, you'll be alive to the fact that it's constituted, we are not allowed to borrow more than 40% of our GDP at any particular time. And the current rate as we speak now is 21% of debt to GDP. So prudent management is something that we always put forward, and therefore you will never find that our economy is significantly negatively challenged. We talk about our labor market stability. I can't recall the last time we heard about a labor union strike in Botswana, whereas in other areas you could talk about the seasonal, what we call strike seasons, where it's a guarantee that a strike is coming. So in Botswana, yes, we have labor unions, but the relationships are well managed such that we really manage industrial actions very well. And our literacy rate of around 90% says we have a very well educated labor force. They may not be plug and play. You still have to customize them to the respective processes of your companies, but you can be guaranteed that whatever a complex activity you are undertaking, you will have experienced labor. The nice thing being that where there isn't locally available skills, we are there as Botswana Investment and Trade Center to support you to import skills where we think you can't source locally, and where we believe that there is a strong case for importing such labor. Here we were just highlighting some of the sectoral opportunities that we can speak about in Botswana. While we want to diversify away from mining, we still see a lot of opportunities within the mining value chain itself. That is why we are now talking resource beneficiation. We are talking about a special economic zone to beneficiate our abundant soda ash up north to produce chemicals that use that soda ash as an input. So if there is a European company that is interested there, we can talk to you. Speak about the diamonds themselves. Recently, we have seen a shoot up in interest of diamond cutting, polishing, and manufacturing companies locating in Botswana. I think we saw our number rising from around 20 something, I think it was around 22 site holders, to now a number of around 49 companies located in the country. So you can see that these are some of the benefits. Particularly this influx was realized after our 6 months excursion to Dubai, where we are actively engaged in conversations with these companies at the past Dubai 2020 Expo. So that's why we want to entrench beneficiation and make sure that where we are naturally endowed, we can basically build opportunities there. In manufacturing, we build opportunities for investment in 3 ways. The first one is import substitution. As we always say, where we are importing in large numbers, it's a demonstration of opportunity. So come and produce locally to be able to fill that gap. Secondly, we look at where we are naturally endowed, as I've just said, where we have the raw materials. We promote opportunities around that to say, come and locate near source of the raw material and be able to produce. And then thirdly, we look at the opportunities in cross-border value chain linkages. What is South Africa doing well that we can support from Botswana? That is why the auto component sector, and now talk about the transition to e-mobility, is a sector that we are actively anchoring in Botswana because there is opportunity there. Opportunities to produce the auto components for the main factories in South Africa, opportunities to locate fertilizer production entities for the active sectors in Zambia, Zimbabwe, in agriculture. So we see these unlimited opportunities to formate manufacturing. In agriculture, there is significant investment at the moment in projects, but we are looking at downstream processing of the agricultural produce. So we are looking at those agribusiness companies that can come and provide a market to our thriving farmers to be able to package, preserve the products and be able to sell on a long term on the shelf, even to far-flung markets. Opportunities in tourism, we are open to talk about those because Botswana's tourism has historically been based on the wilderness, but currently we are pushing aggressively a maize hub strategy. As you see, most of the events are coming to Botswana, but it's a given. We will need things like convention centers. We will need more hotel rooms. We will need more service providers to be able to anchor this strategy and leave a lasting memory in the mind of a visitor who comes to Botswana that indeed we are up there in service. Now to the tax incentives as applicable. When you are operating in the manufacturing sector, you pay tax, corporate tax at 15%. The open market corporate tax rate in Botswana is 22%, but when you fit our definition of manufacturing, you are basically levied at 15%. The same applies to a sector called the International Financial Services Center, which enables you to carry out cross-border capital deployment while operating as a hub or your hub operations in Botswana. The same rate of 15% also applying to our Digital and Innovation Hub, which is a science and technology park that we have set up to incubate tech and science-related startup entities. So, we bring you those efficiencies. But there are 2 special economic zones that I think were well touched on yesterday at the reception cocktail. The first one is a region called Spedu in the east of Botswana, where a major copper production mine closed up a couple of years ago. A lot of people ended up without jobs, and government intervened with fiscal incentives so that the economy of that region can thrive. So when you operate within that region, predominantly in the sectors of agriculture, tourism, and manufacturing, you will be paying tax at 5% for the first 5 years, and 10% thereafter without stipulation of a timeline. So you can see the efficiency that it brings. But then we have special economic zones again around the country where the tax regime is slightly different. When you are operating within our special economic zones, which are 9 in number, including the SPEDU one, you will now be paying corporate tax at 5% for the first 10 years and 10% thereafter. You see that SPEDU is 5% for the first 5 years, 10% thereafter. Broad special economic zones, 5% for 10 years and 10% thereafter. What is the difference between these various zones? You will see that in SPEDU, we are basically emphasizing sector of operation that we believe is well placed to stimulate the economy of that region. But for the other special economic zones, the key differentiator is the size of investment that you are bringing in. Because we are incentivizing you with a bit of derogation to sell in the local economy, you may be out-competing other non-incentivized companies in the main economy. So that is why there, we've given a slightly different regime, and we've qualified you at a minimum investment of 200 million pula to be able to qualify for special economic zones. I will not dwell into the others in detail. These are subjects that we will continue to expound in the breakaway sessions of the forum. Hold us by the jacket if you want more information. The BITC team is well positioned to be able to share more. These are the areas where we find our special economic zones and the specific purposes for which they are set. You will see that all the way across the eastern corridor of Botswana, there will be a special economic zone very close to you. So talk to us about how you can become a partner and operate within these specialist sectors. Now closing about Botswana Investment and Trade Center. We are the lead investment and trade promotion agency of the government of Botswana. While we have various facilitating institutions as were presented yesterday, everything can still come through us. We have a channel to all those other supporting institutions that we work with. We have offices around the world. You will see that there is an active office in Johannesburg. Why Johannesburg? Because at the current moment, you are most likely to be connecting via South Africa when coming to Botswana. So to save you the connection time to come here, you can still access our full suite of services in Johannesburg and be able to board your flight and go wherever you will be headed. We have another office in India, in New Delhi, and the last office being in London, UK. We are actively reconsidering after Brexit to say, are we still ideally located in London? And we might, funds permitting, be looking at a place to locate within mainland Europe, because we are here today strengthening our relationships that we believe will culminate in business. We work with chambers of commerce, professional advisory firms. We empower these people with active information so that wherever you land, they can tell you about Botswana and actually put the country ahead. And therefore, you are not short of touch points where you can be ably informed about Botswana and the opportunities you can pursue. But most importantly, you will see how we are structured on the round bubbles around the word BITC. We do investment promotion, we do export development and promotion. Once we are here, we handhold you to identify markets in the regions and in the world. We are also pushing what we call a Buy Botswana campaign, which we call #PushaBW. Most of the companies from that initiative are actually exhibiting in the big tent outside. They can share with you their story. We run an active one-stop shop, the Botswana One-Stop Service Center, or BOSC. That's where if you are looking for land, BITC will be able to facilitate you land or factory space on an accelerated basis. And when I say this, this also applies to Botswana. There is a misconception usually that we are only serving foreign companies coming in. If you are a Botswana, you have a compelling business idea, you believe that you need land, you put up a business proposal or business plan, submit it to Botswana Investment and Trade Center. We evaluate, our teams will then give you the endorsement. We write to any land authority in the country. They will give you land on an accelerated basis without having to queue or wait for a tender. So Botswana, here is an opportunity to activate your business ideas. We conduct a lot of research. We have various market intelligence tools that we subscribe to as an institution. We have systems that can tell you your product in Botswana that you could be producing is match-made with maybe a country like the Netherlands. As an example, who are the main buyers within the Netherlands and who are the key decision makers that you have to talk to in order to realize that sale. So utilize these reports again so that we can always point you in the right direction. Global Expo is one flagship event, that's why we are here. And lastly, we have a portfolio of properties that we own ourselves. It's currently at 47,000 square meters, predominantly located in Gaborone. We have factory houses in G West Industrial. That's where companies like Sunita Cables are located. They are renting from us. We have factory houses in Block 8, where most of the diamond cutting and polishing companies opposite Innovation Hub. That's where we house those companies. We have factories in Mkwayapiri, almost opposite Bo Apache and Formula One, if you know the locality. We have other factories in Block 3 Industrial, where you will find some of the companies like Botomato, the furniture company. So those factories are ours, and we are now emboldening our strategy to get to develop more so that we can house the increasing numbers of companies that will be choosing Botswana as a destination. And then we, still in property, before I go to the next slide, we have a strong partnership with the private sector. Where we don't have vacancies within our own properties, we always refer you to the private sector that will inform us of their vacancies. So in the private sector, if you have factory houses, office spaces that are not occupied, always register them with BITC, because as we see investors, we can be able to refer these. Now on the next slide, I've spoken about it, is some of the service lines that we provide. You can see anything from entry visas, work and residence permits, opening a bank account, utility connections. You will be ably assisted in our Botswana one-stop shop. Ladies and gentlemen, I will end it here with the confidence that my colleagues coming on board will have to emphasize this with the testimonies they will be giving. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Re Kilitusitse Ulibile, the CEO of BITC, giving an in-depth overview into the economy of Botswana, but also what makes us important and what puts us in a better position for you to partner with as your gateway to Africa. We're now going to get into the next session where we actually have practical stories of enterprises and entrepreneurs who have seen it fit to do business in Botswana. We'll take a foreign perspective, but also highlight on a local entrepreneur who's currently doing business in Botswana. Following that, we will have a Q&A session. So I do encourage that please be noting down your questions. Even for Re Ulibile, he will also have the opportunity to address any questions that you might have. We've got a slight change in our program. We initially had to have Mr. Vijay Naik. He's the Managing Director of Flowtech. Quite an interesting story in Botswana. His journey started in 1983 in Botswana, coming from India, and he founded Flowtech in 1998. And today, Flowtech continues to operate in Botswana, focusing on manufacturing of plastic pipes. Not only Botswana, but they've also grown to become a regional leader. And of course, the good friends at BITC, you're more than welcome to engage further on offline conversations. The next entrepreneur that we have on the program is Mr. Martin Menes. He comes from EBBF Energy, and he's currently serving as the director. Martin is a Dutch project developer as well as entrepreneur in the renewable energy industry. He has led greenfield development of solar PV projects in the Netherlands and Spain, and he's currently striving to make an impact in Africa, developing projects and arranging financing from the Netherlands. EBBF Energy started in 2021 in Botswana, and so he's going to come and share his story. Martin, you may grace the stage.
Hello? Yeah, thank you. I'm honored to provide a Dutch perspective of doing business in Botswana. The ambassador that we just heard this morning mentioned Belgium, Denmark, Poland, and Germany. I heard a little bit that she forgot to mention her northern neighbor, the Netherlands, but luckily the CEO of BITC just mentioned the Netherlands. And if you ever reconsider an office in Europe, then you can always consider the Netherlands. We would love to have you there. Okay? No, so our company, EBBF Energy, is an investment firm focusing on renewable energy industry. And we've been active, as mentioned, for a couple of years in Botswana, although it's not the first country that we visited. We started in Zimbabwe and South Africa. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude for being asked to present our experiences in Botswana here. And I'll shortly recap our story as EBBF Energy and what has led to me standing here, and hopefully inspire other people from Europe to also become active in Botswana, or maybe the other way around. That could also be very much possible. I started my career at TenneT, which is basically the BPC of the Netherlands and Germany. And then I quickly transitioned to renewable energy, solar, in the Netherlands. It's not the sunniest country, but also the Netherlands needs to become more sustainable. And as wind and solar are both part of the energy mix now, I'm actually kind of proud to say that the Netherlands has been, although we were kind of a lagger in renewable energy, we are now actually one of the front runners in Europe, having a lot of solar, both utility scale and also rooftop. And we can learn a lot from that. And as you can probably imagine, the Netherlands is a pretty small country. It's about 20 times as small as Botswana, and we have about 8 times the population. So sometimes, as the CEO mentioned, there's availability of land in Botswana. We don't have that much land in the Netherlands, so at some point there's scarcity of land for solar projects and wind projects. And we decided about 4 years ago, to take our company to Africa. And as I mentioned, we really believe in the market here. It's as the president this morning also addressed, the population here is young, energetic, and there's still a lot of power needed in order to grow and develop the region, and eventually also achieve the 2036 goal of becoming a high income country. So we started in South Africa, Zimbabwe, now since 2021 in Botswana, and now 2 years later we have invested about $7 million in projects in Botswana. We own and operate a solar project at the Buwan University campus across the highway, and we also have a reverse osmosis water treatment plant there. We are a small company from Amsterdam, so this might not seem very impressive, but our goals are quite big. Next year, we will embark on our largest project in Botswana, which is going to be an investment of $100 million in the solar industry as well. It's going to be a couple hours north of where we are sitting now. And thank you. It's actually also going to be located in one of the special economic zones, and that's really helpful, obviously, for our investors to to become comfortable with all the things, because obviously we're far away and we need to really understand the environment in which we're investing. So that's been really helpful. Our investments we usually source from high net worth individuals in the Netherlands, and although they sometimes have to get used to the fact that we are going to use their capital, which they earned themselves, and invest it in Africa, sometimes they're a little bit nervous. But it's really a remarkable feature that if we tell them, if you look at Botswana and the data, it speaks for itself. It's a very safe, reliable business environment, and we've managed to convince them and make the investments that we are doing now. So that's a really positive thing, and it speaks for Botswana. So that's I really like. I also, one of our other types of funding is crowdfunding. From the $7 million that we have invested in Botswana right now, more than $1.5 million comes from crowdfunding, which basically means that more than 1,000 Dutch citizens have invested their money in our projects in Botswana, and therefore they're really, that really speaks for Botswana, but because they are very confident that these investments are solid and will yield a return. We had to convince the people. Obviously, it was their first project in Africa. Usually they would crowdfund for projects in Europe. But it's really nice to see that since we made that bridge on convincing them to invest in Africa, the platform has, since our first project 2 years ago, has raised more than 10 million euros for Africa across the continent. So that's really nice. And obviously for us, we were drawn to the spirit of the people of Botswana and the quality and the ethics of the institutions here, which have made our project successful up till now. And in specific, I would like to thank our partners, because we always do our projects together with local partners. So we have local Botswana parties that will co-develop and co-invest with us and co-operate the plans. And I also would like to thank really BITC, who's been a huge help in making these projects proceed and become successful eventually. We were actively approached by BITC on several issues that we had to take care of. We didn't really know what we were doing that much with regards to VAT, import duties, custom clearings, IFSC. It's a whole lot that comes at you when you make your first entry into a country. And from all the countries that we're active in, I think BITC is one of the most successful institutions which help investors become active and make that step and enter the Botswana market. So I think it's a really good organization. And although we'll always encounter issues in our projects, together with our partners and with BITC at our side, we are sure that we can protect our investments and grow our investments and make sure they're all successful. And hopefully, when we're successful, we hope that in the near future, more Dutch companies will come to Botswana and invest here. Or maybe the other way around as well. I mean, there's also opportunities the other way around. And that's my story. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Martin. You will have the opportunity to ask some questions targeted towards Martin, so please keep them ready. I'd now like to call on Dr. Tato Kosimoto. He's the Group Managing Director for Medical Devices Botswana Group. And it's always important before you come into a country to try and assess how the country itself is treating its local entrepreneurs, because ultimately that's who you'll also be partnering with as you get into Botswana. Dr. Tato Kosimoto has a Bachelor of Medical Sciences from St. George's University. He also has a Bachelor of Medicine from St. George's University, a Master's of Public Health, and is currently an MBA candidate at European Business University. He is currently leading and has led a number of companies involved in the manufacturing and distribution of medicines and medical devices, as well as a chain of clinics and retail pharmacies, including cross-border logistics, poultry, as well as property businesses. He's going to share a story of his experience as a local entrepreneur in Botswana.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, let me say ministers present, captains of industries, PSP, PSS here, respectable delegates, let me kindly and humbly say all protocol observed. I greet you. Dumelang bagaetsho. My name is Tato. Don't be intimidated by the so many qualifications. I happen to be one of those people who've literally really been confused in my life. I've grown up as a confused person who never really knew what they wanted to do. So that's why you realize there is a saying which says that once you see someone pursuing a particular degree and then finishing it and going on to another set of degree which is completely different from the other one, completing it, starting another master's program, completing it and doing so on, you must know that that person is an entrepreneur, and that's what I am. I feel honored and privileged to be standing before you today, to share our story with you, particularly a young Botswana out there, particularly our respected delegates who are here, in particular our potential investors from Europe or potential partners and people we can collaborate. I would really like to share the story of our small company called MDB. But before that, maybe let me go through the journey of how it came about. If I happen to talk a lot about myself, don't be intimidated. I'm not really talking about myself to promote myself per se, but I want a young Botswana out there to understand that it's possible. I want to relate Tato's story to Botswana out there and everyone, every respectable delegate here. Because every company has a founder, and the personality of the organization usually follows the founder's personality. I don't know if you are aware of that. So that being the case, I come from I would say it's not a small town. I come from a town just 50 kilometers away from here called Molepolole. If maybe you happen to appreciate the picture on the top left corner, it's a picture of silos in our Khotla in Molepolole. It's a village where I would say most industrious people come from. You can disagree with me, but in Botswana, I believe most industrious Botswana come from Molepolole. So I grew up there. I literally grew up my entire life there. I only came to Gaborone for the first time while I was coming to the University of Botswana. Can you believe it? So I did my studies there. I grew up under a family of parents who were doing small businesses, selling chickens and stuff. So I studied in Molepolole and then came to the University of Botswana to study my Bachelor of Sciences. As I mentioned at the time, I was really confused. I never really knew what I wanted to do. I'm sure there are so many of you who have done the same. I see and I appreciate my colleagues over there. Some of them are pharmacists, some of them are doctors, but I know deep down they never knew what they wanted to do. So I studied BSc at the University of Botswana, and then I was privileged enough to be sent to the Caribbean islands The picture on the bottom left corner right there, it's St. George's University where I did my undergraduate program in medicine. I was there for 3 years. I did my preclinical years there. I completed a master's in public health. At the time, I thought I was going to be a public health specialist. And then I went over to complete my studies in the UK with my clinical studies and came back to Botswana, thinking I'm going to be a public health specialist. Upon return into Botswana, I was posted to Princess Marina Hospital. It's a local referral hospital here. I worked there in different departments. And then I had a short stint of going to the Ministry of Health for 2 weeks just to go and explore this desire of wanting to be a public health specialist. When I got there, I realized, oh no, I can't work in an office. It's boring. These people are dealing with papers throughout. They're calculating prevalences, incidences, and stuff. So I decided, I have to go back to the drawing board. So I went back to Princess Marina. I decided to forgo that dream of becoming a public health specialist. And then I initiated another journey. I went for training to be a urologist. I did my urology studies, which along the journey, confused as I am, I decided, this is not for me still. But I did manage to complete the program. However, immediately after completing the program, I decided, maybe entrepreneurship is the way. So I called up my partners who are fellow doctors. We co-founded the company called MDB. So I'll tell you now about this 5-year-old baby called MDB. How does it work, this thing? So MDB was actually conceptualized while I was doing my residency of urology. So I must apologize to whoever sent me to school, the government, because I was not really focusing on the residency program. I was doing business at the time. So we registered a company by 2015 called Medical Devices Botswana. The reason why you see it's called Medical Devices Botswana, it's mainly because the initial plan has always been to build something for Botswana. This is not Tato's company, it's not Dr. Ralhoren's company, it's a Botswana's company. That's why it's called Medical Devices Botswana. Earlier on, I had a discussion with Retewele Hale to say, look, as custodians of MDB, sooner than later we'll be coming in to hand over what belongs to Botswana. So, please bear in mind that while I'm speaking here before you, I'm just a custodian. I'm the founder, I'm the co-founder and the current CEO, but I'm just a custodian. So we grew from, we actually opened our first plant, the medical device plant, in 2018 after a journey of about 3 years of toiling between the capital raising exercise, going from pillar to pillar, bank to bank, seeing and meeting all sorts of people. But eventually we managed to secure funding and we started the medical device manufacturing facility, which is located in Tlokweng. The facility actually manufactures quite a range of hospital consumables, your syringes, needles, cannulas. Some of you are doctors, will understand, but basically these are just consumables which are used in the hospital setting. You may wonder what happened between 2015 and 2018. It's business. It's a long game. In most times, what you think as reality on paper is different from reality in reality. That's the reality of things. 5 minutes. Okay, I'm finishing. So we grew from 2018. We started with 4 people, about 40 members at the time. Grew by distributing our products to government and private facilities around. We have a staff complement of about 50 permanent employees and on and off employees, casual employees who come, about 200 or so. So at this point in time, we are running 2 plants. We recently developed this facility. The picture in the middle here, it's a tablet and capsules manufacturing facility. It's also located in Tlogen, not far away from the old facility. So it was licensed last year, December. We are looking into distributing our products in Botswana, private hospitals and government hospitals. So that being the case, we are inviting all of you, potential investors from Europe. We are inviting all of you, Botswana, as I already said, we are about to list quite soon. We are inviting you to invest, we are inviting you to collaborate. There's ample opportunities in Botswana. We can explore potential technical partnerships, we can explore contract manufacturing done in Botswana for Europe or done in Botswana for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area market. So the opportunity is there. We're just calling you out there for us to sit down and talk and collaborate in that manner. Botswana is the best destination basically, or the best place to start business. I think you are all aware of certain companies. I just met a gentleman from Letsero. Letsero is a Pan-African country, a Pan-African business that started in Botswana. Now it's all over. If you look at Masco, I think you all know Dr. Strive Masiwa. Dr. Strive Masiwa, he didn't start in Botswana, but he made it in Botswana. He managed to break through in Botswana through Masco. I think those of you who know, you know. Why? Because Botswana is very fertile. If you look at the economic climate, reiterating on what Mr. Olibile has been saying, the economy itself is quite conducive. There is access to financing. We have different institutions ready to support and finance startups. So basically there is no reason why a startup should fail in Botswana or any other company should fail in Botswana. If it fails, or if you feel that it's hard, if you feel that the burden is too much, just get back to the drawing board. Know that it's not the environment. You just have to get back to the drawing board and re-strategize. You appreciating our inflation, as Mr. Olibile has been saying. We really have been doing quite well, keeping it between less than 3%. It's quite good and it's quite encouraging. For manufacturing particularly, there are tax incentives, the 15% corporate tax. It's relatively among the lowest in the region, if not the lowest, I believe. Botswana also has protective policies. I think you are all aware that recently borders were locked or closed so that we could produce vegetables, and most of you or some of you actually became vegetable entrepreneurs during this protective policy, which is good. So looking at the labor force as well, I don't think I've ever had or encountered a situation where we had an industrial strike at the office. At MDB, if we disagree, if we are unhappy, the boardroom is there, we sit there, we talk, we resolve, unlike other countries. So as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, I think these are some of the most important things you'd want to consider when setting up and when operating. As an entrepreneur, when you do your strategy, you also want political continuity, political will, consistency, and predictability. Some of you who do a strategy would understand. Some of the industries we really plan for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So that being the case, you need a policy framework, a legal framework, which is predictable, which is consistent, which you can then plan around it. In some other countries, you know, you have this policy today, tomorrow it's changed. You have this, tomorrow it's different. So it really tends to disturb business flow. But fortunately in Botswana, we have continuity, consistency, and predictability, and the political will to support business. That's why you see honorable leaders here today in this particular summit. I'm about to finish. I have a lot to talk. The thing is, when you call out a doctor to come and speak, we are normally expected to speak, take a longer time than no. But I'll finish, I'm finishing. We have, let me take note of the regulatory framework within the pharmaceutical space. I see Mr. Batusi there. BOMRA has always been supportive to our industry. BOMRA is the one which is regulating the medical devices and the pharmaceutical products coming into the country. Let me also maybe highlight the supporting entities, mainly BITC. BITC has come in quite handy, particularly for our business since inception. I was earlier on discussing with a fellow entrepreneur out there who wants to set up a similar business to us. Say, you know, we are looking for support and all that. So I was advising them, don't ever give up. There is so much support in Botswana. At one point, I want to share this with you, but I shouldn't share. We were using the BITC office as our office. We didn't have an office. It's okay, it's allowed. You can go and use BITC offices if you want to interact, meet, engage, talk with partners, collaborate, get inspiration, whatsoever. They come in quite handy, they are very supportive. We, in many instances, because we collaborate with a lot of technical partners outside the country, we do a lot of visas, permanent sort of visas and work permits. BITC really comes in handy in terms of accelerating those, including, but not limited to those that our CEO, Mr. Olivile, has been highlighting. Accelerated acquisition to land, and so on. We also have development banks, which I should thank and highlight that our development banks are there. CEDA is there. I'm not sure if there's anyone here from CEDA, but I would like to thank the CEDA team, if they're here. There's BDC, Botswana Development Corporation. So basically, in terms of financing, doing entrepreneurship in Botswana, finance is not much of an issue. I know this is a controversial statement. There is so much capital here. If you disagree with me, we can engage on a different platform over coffee after this particular session. We have our commercial banks, which are also eager and interested to support commercially viable projects. We've been partners with Stanbic and ABSA for quite some time now. We have our local enterprise authority. They assist quite heavily in information. We are currently working with Leah on expanding our operations into Namibia. And there is also the special economic zones, which Mr. Olivile has touched on previously. With the special economic zones, there are tax incentives there. They come in quite handy. So I'm calling everyone out there, let's collaborate, let's make a deal today, let's do business. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khosimoto, for sharing not just the story of doing business in Botswana, but also a practical example of some of the education policies in Botswana and some of the incentives that you've managed to benefit from by getting a global education. We'd like to now get into the question and answers. Unfortunately, due to time, we'll probably maybe take 2 questions per panelist. And we also have Re Ulibile to also answer some questions. I'll just ask the team to just give him a microphone so that he doesn't have to stand, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open to some questions. Okay, I'll pick the gentleman there with the white scarf. Or is it? Yes, sir. And then there was a hand this side. Yes, ma'am, with the red dress, I think. Let's take the first 2 questions. Please keep it short and straight to the point. We're running behind time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nathan from Botswana. I'm representing a company by the name of Bamboo Travel and Lifestyle Group. And my question is directed to Mr. Martin Mains. I heard him discuss about some of the pilot projects that they've launched here in Botswana, particularly in the photovoltaic solar development side of things. So I'm an agricultural specialist, studied climate smart agriculture, and I'm trying to test the waters to see how far we can push breaking of boundaries for climate smart agriculture in our scene in Botswana. How far do you see this whole merging of photovoltaic energy development empowering a sustainable ecosystem for energy development for projects that are in rural areas, such as farms and conservation projects or safaris? Thank you very much.
Hello?
Thank you very much. My lady, please ask your question. Martin, you're fine? You got that? Or do you want to address the question first?
What do you want?
Would you, okay, address the question and then get to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's easier. Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, indeed. We want the project that we built here in Gaborone was a so-called agri-voltaics project, which means that the solar modules are glass, which do allow sunlight to pass through and allow sunlight to actually hit the crops that you can put underneath. Obviously, you need to really look at. I'm not an agronomist, so I don't know anything about plants. But I mean, I know there's plants which benefit from less sunlight and actually allow the plant to grow better than if it would be uncovered and just in the open sun. And we've actually been working on the project with a Dutch university. It's the Wageningen Universiteit. It's an agricultural university. We also tried to set up a collaboration between the Boeran institution and Wageningen to see if we can accelerate research and to see if this technology would provide opportunities in Botswana to harvest solar energy and also to harvest food. So yeah, I think it's a very promising avenue. It's still quite small and still quite in development, but yeah, for us it worked. So we're eager to progress these types of solutions where necessary and where opportune. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Martin. Great. My lady?
Thank you. My name is Bulelwa Lukashe. I'm from a company called AfriSustain. We are a sustainability consultancy, which was formed as a Pan-African response to sustainability issues across the continent. My question is for Mr. Ulibile. I wanted to find out, Mr. Martin mentioned that he was pursued by the BITC to do business in Botswana. So my question is, who does the BITC approach or target for partnerships or to do business in the country? Are you looking for facilitative partners who will be co-creators of solutions, or are you looking for expert partners who will come in with ready-made solutions and just, give instructive advice, just so we know how one can position themselves when approaching the BITC? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. I think in facilitating joint venture partnerships, it cuts across a whole array of solutions that you can bring forward. We oftentimes or regularly issue invitations of expression or expressions of interest for people who may have land as a key enabling business factor, but you cannot maybe deploy the right capital to develop the infrastructure. You can deliberately send us to carry your land parcel as one available, so that when we find an FDI, they can deploy on your land. I always give an example of the much touted citrus project in Silibe Pikwe, where land owned by the Madinare Cooperative, I think it was 1,700 hectares. 1,500 hectares of it was leased to some agriculturalists that we sourced from South Africa. They have since planted 1 million orange trees. Those of you that visit Pikwe must go and see that marvel. They haven't taken the land from the community. It's a 50-year lease, renewable. And you see, the community is taking rent. The community has an opportunity to sharehold with the project, but the promoter is making his returns. So even yourself, you could be having land. You could be having other factors that you can bring forward. You could be having an idea. Register it with us. Tell us exactly what you need. We'll carry it out there on your behalf. But we have to do it with your authority. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 2 more questions. There's a gentleman at the back there, and I think you had asked, raise your hand first. So the 2 gentlemen, and unfortunately we'll have to close the floor.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Muji. I am from Citizen Contractors Association, mother body of over 200 companies or building contractors. What we have now is EU-Botswana partnership. It's really excluded us according to us, because we will say the project is complete as long as we will be participating. But now, how as Botswana contractors can penetrate market at EU? That's the question. I'm repeating my words saying that if as contractors will not penetrate market at EU, we won't believe that the partnership is perfect. I heard Dr. Tato saying that there is a lot of help here in Botswana, mainly finance, which allow me, Dr. Tato, to disagree with you that is totally slim. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, I don't know what challenges my brother would have faced in seeking to access the European market. But as we said, we have principal instruments that we usually use to manage the relationship. And usually in seeking to push any product line into a market, there are certain protocols that are governed by that instrument that we have to fulfill. For example, the same farm that I'm talking about, citrus in Silibe Pikwe, will be harvesting their first produce in January? One of the markets that we are actively working for these oranges to land is the EU. But in this happening, there are certain regulatory protocols that the EU have to satisfy themselves with on the ground in Botswana, so that we are not exporting any diseases or challenges with the product into the EU. But once these are done, it's as open as that. Your product will be able to land. So if you need assistance and know how, approach us. I think you were talking about contracts as well. So I would say let's have a discussion where we understand your problem, and then we can always facilitate you even through our EU partners, some of whom are in the room. Yes, the Honorable Minister is advising here that there will actually be breakaway sessions as part of this program for the next 2-3 days, where countries like Denmark, countries like Poland will be hosting dedicated sessions on doing business with each of those countries. So I also advise that you attend so that you can get the specifics and know-how of how to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reolibile. I think we had the last question, or we close the floor? Shall we close the floor? Okay. Unfortunately, due to time, we'll have to close the floor to questions, but please feel free to, on the side, engage all the speakers that you have on stage. Gentlemen, thank you so much. You may grace your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and attention so far for our Doing in Business plenary session. We'll now be coming to the closing remarks, where I'll call on Mr. Norman Molele. He's the CEO of Business Botswana, and this is the official voice of the private sector in Botswana. Remolele, you may grace the stage.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Allow me, Director of Ceremonies, to say that I stand on the protocol that has already been established. I would like you also to allow me to add to that protocol and recognize my president, the Business Botswana President, Rene Ongwaku. He's sitting the other end there. Honorable ministers here present, it is my greatest honor and privilege to deliver this, the closing remarks on the Doing Business in Botswana session on the margins of the Global Expo Botswana 2023. To those who are not aware, particularly our international visitors, Business Botswana is a chamber of commerce. It's an employer federation, and it's a business representative body acting as the voice of business in Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, the government plays a critical role in the growth of the private sector by creating a conducive environment for the private sector to flourish. We have, as Business Botswana, established various platforms through which we engage government. And we as Business Botswana have engaged with and continue to engage with the government of Botswana to ensure that there is a continued improvement in terms of the business climate in Botswana. Several reforms have taken root as a result of the Business Botswana engagement with government, and these have been going on since the early days. I can talk about the tax reforms that Mr. Ulivile talked about, investment incentives, exchange control, trade facilitation institutions. All these, you'll find that Business Botswana had a role to play representing the voice of business in the establishment of such. Earlier on, Reolibile talked about labor market stability in Botswana. We take pride as Business Botswana, as an employer federation, to say that we are part and parcel of why there is such labor stability in the country. We work very closely with the trade union movement. We consult, we engage, we discuss, and we work as a tripartite partnership with government on anything related to employer-employee relations, employment laws, and anything that talks about labor relations in the country. We are therefore a critical stakeholder in engaging with international companies keen on doing business in Botswana through our members who span across all sectors. And furthermore, as an organization, we are also open to building strategic partnerships with counterpart chambers of commerce from abroad, and this will open new vistas for further collaborations. And I'm proud to say we've just acquired a new friend, a new partner in the Polish Chamber of Commerce. They are sitting right there. With that brief introduction, allow me to gravitate to what I've been requested to do and start by first and foremost thanking the Assistant Minister of Trade and Industry of the Republic of Botswana, Honorable Beauty Manake, for officially opening the plenary session on the doing business in Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll recall that the earlier speakers before this session talked about the relationship that this country has had with the European Union. That relationship was not only through, at government level. We as private sector, through Business Botswana, have benefited from these strong relations, and we continue to benefit from that. In 2008, Business Botswana formulated a private sector development strategy, which was later adopted by the government of Botswana and we came up with a private sector development program. That program was launched in 2009 and was funded by the EU's legacy institutions such as the Center for the Development of Enterprise. And in that program, at least 100 SMMEs, including 30 women-owned businesses, were assisted, and the project came to an end in 2016. And following the successful implementation of the private sector development strategy and the private sector development program, there was a need to review and update the strategy to further identify opportunities for private sector, both domestically and internationally. At the moment, in reviewing the private sector development strategy and the private sector development program, we are working with the African Development Bank under the Support for Economic Diversification project. As a critical stakeholder in the economic development of Botswana, we reaffirm our commitment to partnering with the government of Botswana in implementing the new private sector development strategy once it has been delivered in the next couple of weeks. By extension, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank the EU once more for playing a pivotal role in the genesis of the private sector development strategy. Let me also thank the BITC Chief Executive Officer, Rekile Tsusitse Olivile, for succinctly articulating the investment promotion opportunities on offer in Botswana with poise, as well as for yet again successfully organizing another edition of the Global Expo Botswana. As the official representative of Botswana private sector, we are open to engagement with international delegates in attendance, and we can help facilitate meetings between them and the private sector. And I encourage you to network and follow up on potential opportunities so that your participation in this year's Global Expo yields a positive outcome. Furthermore, I would like to acknowledge and express our gratitude to the captains of industry present here today. Your expertise and leadership play a pivotal role in driving economic growth in Botswana, and we look forward to continued collaboration to strengthen our business landscape. And I would like to say to our Botswana entrepreneurs, enterprises here and those who are elsewhere, those who could be online, to say that by being part of Business Botswana, we will be able to link you with our counterparts abroad, even for those who would like to establish businesses in Europe, in the US, in South America, in Asia. We have our counterparts who we are able to connect you with, who can help you find partners to establish businesses in those countries. So it's not only investors coming here. Le rona re le Botswana, we can go and invest abroad. Talk to Business Botswana, we should be able to link you up. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much, Norman Molele, for the closing remarks, the CEO of Business Botswana. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask you to please make another round of applause for yourselves for paying attention during this session. We've now officially come to the end of the Doing Business in Botswana plenary session. I've got a few announcements for you as you make your way to lunch. First things first, lunch will be on the foyer. And as you go out, please remember that we've got the Pusher BW Marketplace, where you get to taste some of our finest cuisine in Botswana, but also get to be entertained by a local performer by the name of Ntireleng Berman and get a taste of what we have in terms of local traditional music. The next session will be at 2 p.m. and we'll have 2 parallel sessions. The first one focusing on boosting automotive industries in Botswana, and that's going to be happening in the Pavilion Hall, and that's going to be moderated by Dr. Maje, who's the National Electric Mobility Coordinator from Botswana Institute for Technology, Research and Innovation. The second session that's going to be running in parallel at exactly 2 p.m. in this room will be under the theme Emerging the Mine-to-Market Value Chain in Botswana. And that's going to be moderated by Mr. Sidireng Sirumola. He's the Managing Director of Diamond Trading Company, Botswana DTCB. We're encouraging all the speakers and the moderators to please make your way to the rooms 30 minutes before the sessions begin. And the last but not least announcement, if you have booked your B2B meetings on the B2Match platform, you would have realized that you've got a table that is assigned to you with a specific number. You will be able to find the table in the B2B room that is just in front of this room on the left. B2B meetings are scheduled to start today after lunch. And last but not least, we do have Wi-Fi. Tech team, thank you so much. So that's the Wi-Fi code for anybody who hasn't been able to connect so far. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and attention and for enabling me to facilitate today's session. Enjoy your lunch.
Dumelang and welcome to Botswana Kabula. Botswana, the essence of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you